around houses, don't worry wherever you are. Yes, great. Slowly people are, and do not turn it back off because I keep checking. Bad habit. All right, great. So my name is Asvirya Singh. I work here as a general manager. I've been with Byju's since 2016, right? And you'd be happy to know that I would have started my job in 2016 exactly like how you are starting today. In fact, as an intern. So my journey is pretty much in the beginning, much like how yours is. So I'll give you some insights how you could do better, how you can make it easy. What is the key mantra to success? We will talk about all of those things, right? And we will definitely talk about what you have learned in the last 3 days, 2 days, whatever you've spent here. Yes, we have about an hour's time, enough to talk about product, enough to talk about life, enough to talk about how it's going for you, right? In terms of what I do here, I take care of training and performance. So training mein aap abhi ho, you are right now in training. So I think if you've gotten to meet Rahul Raj, he takes care of the southern regions. I take care of the northern regions in terms of execution. But in terms of problem solving, everything is definitely with me. So any problems you will face in 3 weeks, feel free to get in touch with us. I'll tell you how at the end of this session. Okay? Awesome. So let me ask you a few questions. I will make it really clear. You can only chat with me. Chatting is the only option. We make it interactive. This is not a session where I'll give you a lot of one-way download. I will ask you a lot of things. Correct? Last 2 days, 3 days, people would have given you a lot of information. I'm going to take back from you a lot of information. Awesome. So yeah, question number 1. What all have you learned? Summarize it in 3 points for me. अभी तक 3 दिन में 2 दिन में क्या सीखा? Whatever you've learned, जो भी आपने सीखा है, whatever you've learned, please put it down into 3 points. क्या सीखा? Let me read it out. Okay. Sales, BTC, TLP. About Byju's classes, rapport building. What else? BTLP. About Byju's. How to introduce the company. BTC, 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 BTC. Chalo, BTC to is very broad. What all? Chalo, let me be specific. What all have you learned under BTC? In 3 points. In 3 points. What all have you learned under BTC? Roshan Singh says that refund policy, brother. Refund policy might be the last point I would want to talk about. So what else have you learned? Funnel, process. Wow. Hybrid model, 2-teacher model, conceptual clarity. Okay, awesome. So I'm assuming, stop. So I'm assuming you would have had master sessions. You would have met performance heads, trainers, correct? Different stakeholders who would have given you some or the other gyan. Maybe first couple of days, they would have told you how to build up a resume, how to crack an interview, correct? Versus on day 3, they would have told you about what is BTC, what happens at the center. You have an idea about the center? What happens at the center? Yes, no, yes. Obviously, yes. Yeah. Your trainer are here. So even if there is a no, don't worry. It's a good feedback for them. All right. Okay. So now that you spent 3 days, and I'm sure a lot of people wrote, you learned about Byju's, what Byju's does as an organization. What is the journey of Byju's? So I'll ask you one simple question. Okay. And this is my favorite question to ask all the new joiners, right? And I'll tell you why it's my favorite. So I'll give you a scenario. Imagine everybody has a relative who criticizes them a lot, correct? Think about a relative who criticizes you a lot. Able to visualize somebody, right? Now imagine this relative would have gotten to know that you started a new job. Yes, right? So the first idea that they would have is criticize the job, criticize the offer, criticize you, because that's been the objective, right? So imagine I am that relative now. Okay, I am that relative who loves criticizing you for everything you do in life, good, bad, right? Guys, I can still see a lot of people sitting with the cameras off. Keep it on. So imagine I'm that relative, and I have this one simple question. Are you started this new job at this company, Byju's. It's an education company, right? Yeah, look at me. I have gone through some traditional school, old school. We used to sit down, write down on slates. I've gone to that old system, and look at I'm still successful in my career. So I think all this is marketing, all this is sales. Yeah, why would somebody pay money for something like this? Correct. Fair question. I would never pay money for something like this. Let me rephrase it. And trust me, selling to a customer is going to be very easy. You know why? Compared to this guy, because customer has done something. Either he has downloaded the app, he has gone to the website, asked something about Byju's, he has seen your advertisement, is the reason he's downloaded. So that there is some interest from the customer's end. But if you're able to take care of this situation, you will be able to take care of every single negative situation in life at Byju's in terms of handling a customer. Negative situation meaning people who don't want to buy, people who don't want to listen. And once you have the confidence to handle those situations, right, doing sales becomes really easy, right? Because I'll ask you one simple question. What do you think? More people are going to buy or more people are not going to buy? What do you think will happen when you start sales? Obviously, more people are not going to buy. And obviously, we are also not fools that we will tell you in 1 month that do 2 to 3 sales. Even when you go to month one, you will realize that your target is very basic. You will see that there are people on the floor who do, let's say, about 4-5 lakhs of revenue over a weekend or over 2 weekends. Wherein what you would be asked is do 1 lakh over a month, because we understand that even that first month, that second month is a part of your learning journey. So it is further training, further enhancement. You will have the performance managers helping you. But coming back to the main point, yeah, why will somebody pay money for something like this? And if you've spent 3 days and your trainers have trained you, my assumption is that you should be able to have some answer, right? So let's hear your answer. Chat with me and tell me, I am your relative. What do you tell me? How do you take care of my counter? Right? And with this, we are also learning as to what is the core value. Why does Baiju sells? Why do people believe so much in it? Why does a person like me sit here and talk so confidently about what the product can do? We are learning all of that simultaneously. All right. Batao bhai, tell me quickly, what will you tell this critic, relative of yours? The question is simple. Why would somebody pay money for something like Byju's? As in, why would somebody buy the product? And also because, you're in sales, so you should have a decent answer. Sunte hain kya bolna chahte hain? Okay. Vijay says generation changes. All right. Philosophy. Quality education is what Sagar says. This is about technologies. Students can connect to the best teachers and trainers from the country. Niprendra. For learning, for right commitments, education with technology. Time is changing. What else, yaar? What will you tell? Do you think this will convince them? Think, because this guy is sitting there to not get convinced. So if you don't have a powerful answer, I don't think so. You'll get only further criticism. Digital experience is what Prince says. It's a feature point out of what you would have learned. Technology has improved. People have upgraded for their child's bright future. See, when okay, I'll tell you. I'll give you a good example. Have you seen this movie? Three Idiots. Very famous movie, right? You watched the movie? Yes, yes. Awesome. So, yeah, in that movie, you would have seen whenever, Karina Kapoor asks this guy for a lesson or an opinion or an advice, he can directly give that advice, right? But what he does, he kind of illustrates. So he looks for green chutney, he will throw green chutney, let the situation unfold. Then she'll understand automatically, oh, this is what he was really trying to show me. So what I'm saying is giving philosophy might always not work, because I'll tell you, if you have philosophy, they would have philosophy of their own. And philosophy is also about belief. So somebody will have always more belief in what they feel versus what you feel. But what does not have a counter is real logic. Logic cannot be countered. Rationality cannot be countered. Truth cannot be countered. Right? So that is really, really important for us to understand. My simple question again is, I have not gotten a decent enough answer. If I'm your relative, I'll keep criticizing. Why will somebody pay money? And think, if you've spent 3 days in training, don't you think if you want to sell the product, that's the first answer you should know? अगर आपको बेचना है, if you want to sell, the first thing you should know. So I'll tell you, on my chat, I have a lot of features. Product के बहुत सारे features, a lot of features of the product are there on my chat. Different people have typed that as their response. Sir, two-teacher model, sir, digital experience, sir, in projection, right? Think about this situation, okay? Think about a situation in which you have rejected somebody. Give it 20 seconds and think about a situation in which you rejected somebody. आपने किसी को reject किया. Yeah, visualize. Think about the other person. What was he trying to do? Was he telling you features or not? Obviously, the answer will be yes. That's what the world does, tells you features. And if that worked, then you should have bought the product. So telling features might not necessarily work. One famous example, or one very common example that I have, is of a car. Let's ask you. Let's imagine that you are in a different world, okay? Some other world. Let's say another planet, Mars. Dunya hai dusri. We are at Mars, living a different life. And you're very rich. You're exceptionally rich in that world. You have a lot of money. Spending money is not a constraint. I give you a small task. Yes, the task is to buy a very, very, very high-end car. Spending the money is not a problem. Making the money is not a problem. So my only question is, what all are you looking for in a car? जब खरीदने के लिए पैसा है and volume of पैसा or money is not a problem, क्या देख रहे हो आप इस गाड़ी में? चलो, let's start. Vijay says luxury. Okay, taken. Usability. What all the features are you looking for? Speed, okay. Overall effectability hai, done, given. Comfort, imagine it's the most comfortable car. Design, it has the best design on the planet. It is convertible. What else? It is safe. It is the safest car. It's better than a Volvo. What else? Safety precautions all taken. All right. Ground clearance, all of this. Yeah, it has. Proper. Awesome. Automatic. Imagine all of these features. Yeah. Apart from flying, it has everything. Okay. How much money will you pay for a car like this? Also, when spending is not a problem, how much money are you going to pay for a car like this in that world where you're very rich? Vijay will pay 1 million, 1 crore is what Ashwini says. 2 crores, 1 crores, 2 crores, 3 crores. Yeah. And when money is not a problem, write anything. There's 50 crores. People are bidding almost on my chat now. Yeah. There's a small problem with the car. Hear me out. A very small problem with the car. the car does not move. It has all these features, but it does not move. So will you buy the car? Obviously not. Right? So what we need to understand is that first of all, a car has to move, and then maybe 50 of its other features might seem appealing. So if it's education, first you have to teach better than the others and clearly better than the others, and then maybe 50 other features like two teacher model and all of that will help you land that how you teach better. So if my question was slightly tilted towards that, or the question is different, अगर मैं आपसे दूसरा सवाल ये पूछूं कि do you know what is different at Byju's? How we teach differently than anybody else? Now you know a car needs to move. Education needs to teach. Now the simple question is, if your car moves better, faster than other cars, it gives you a good mileage, people will obviously go ahead. So if you teach better than others, and then you have 50 other features, like you told me on the chat, you will definitely sell. Right? After this, yes. So now again, back to features. So everybody has this feature on my chat that's coming again and again. Conceptual clarity, correct? Let me ask you, what do you mean by conceptual clarity? I agree. Conceptual clarity is the most important feature I feel on any product at Byju's. You pick up TLP, you go to Byju's Tuition Center, you want to pick up a product that we would have created in 2015, you watch that. Conceptual clarity is what we will have everywhere. Now, आप समझाओगे कैसे? How will you explain conceptual clarity to somebody? That's the real question, the real deal. समझाओगे कैसे? How will you explain? Visual videos, 3D animation, these are features. सामने वाला will sit and disagree. अरे यार, go to YouTube, watch videos. It's the same thing. Okay. So let me do a little bit of Amir Khan and use green chutney. Correct? Or maybe illustrate for you. Right? So stop. Rather than me telling you 100 features and how we are great and, at the top of my voice, I tell you Byju's is the best and all of that, not required. Let's quickly pick up maybe a 6th grade math concept and try and understand from that concept as to how we might teach or learn very differently, and focus for the next 10 minutes if you want to sell well here. Right? Okay. Now, because I will have people from all sort of boards, curriculums, and specializations, right? Somebody might say, sir, I am an art student. Why are you asking me a math question? Sir, I'm a commerce student. So I'll ask a 6th grade math question so that it's fair, it's square, everybody can answer. Okay? All right. All the math geniuses ready? Fingers on the keyboard. Done. Angle sum property of a triangle, everybody knows? Everybody knows? Angle sum property of a triangle. Yes, grade 6 में पढ़ाते हैं कि when you sum up all the angles of a triangle, it will give you 180 degrees. जब सारे angles एक triangle के जोड़ेंगे तो आपको 180 degree मिलेगा. Right? This is a property. Now, let me tell you that when I will ask this question to a grade 6th child, 8 on 10 kids will also give me the answer. If you ask a child, what is the angle sum property of a triangle, they'll tell you A plus B plus C equals to 180 degrees, right? It's a grade 6th question. We have finished our education. We have finished our graduations. So let me add another tweak to that question, another angle to that question. If my question is, why does it have to be 180 degree? Why can't it be 200 or 250 degrees? 180 ही क्यों? 200, 250, 300 क्यों नहीं? क्या बोलोगे? Aditya Singh Chauhan, some of the length of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. My question is, which grade did you learn that concept in, and which grade was angle sum property in? What came first? Ashwini, because every angle is 160, 60, 60. No, brother, that is only equilateral triangle, and that's not definitely the explanation. समझ गए question? A plus B plus C equals to 180. I am saying, why not 200? Why not 250? Why does it have to be 180? Why 180? Or the only question I have added is why? 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 Now there is somebody who's trying to explain me interior angles. Guys, what I want you to really think again is that you have angle sum property as one concept. Think about interior angles, corresponding angles, any other angles. Think about which came first. What have you learned first? And if angle sum property was something that was taught first, something that was taught later cannot be the reason. Because if I was in grade 6 as a child, I would never understand. Yeah. So listen to this explanation. So imagine there's a triangle. I have gotten this explanation on the chat. Imagine there's a triangle. You open the triangle, it becomes a straight line. Straight line is 180 degrees. So angle sum property is one. On that logic, if I have a circle, I open the circle, it becomes a straight line. In fact, I have any closed figure on the planet, I open it up, it becomes a straight line. So I prove to you that any figure would be 180 degree. Unfortunately, close, but not there. Yeah, a lot of people have written down the property again. Sir, sum of interior angles will be 180. My question only is why. Okay. Now somebody is saying that you can apply the n-1 logic and through corresponding or exterior angles, you will find why it is. So a child in grade 6 will not know all this, yeah. And if you're teaching them, then I think then he's in troubles. Okay. All right. It is not assumed, Yashbir, it has an explanation. Don't worry. So there might be multiple explanations. जो आप बाकी grades से you can pick an 8, 9, 10th grade because you've passed everything. But I'll tell you the grade 6th explanation of this concept, right? And if you were to go to the app, learn anything from the app, go to the Byju's Tuition Center. This is the approach that Byju's uses in any grade for any concept. Okay. So visually, I don't have 3D animation in their projection, so I can't use that. But I have a triangle ready for you. Yes. I have marked A, B, and C ready for you. What does the property say? Sum up A, B, and C. It should give you 180, right? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just flip the triangle and I'm going to sum up A and B and C. I have to be good at marking and folding is all that is required. Because when I sum it up, you would see that I automatically get 180 degree angle. Now the real question I asked is why? ये क्यों हुआ? It happened because when I summed all three of them up together, do you see my index finger, this finger? This is the point at which they are meeting. Okay. The point at which they are meeting is right at the center of the straight line. And that is only because I had taken an equilateral triangle. Let's say agar equilateral triangle nahi hota, if scalene hota, yeah, what is the other triangle? Isosceles triangle hota, where sides were not equal, then what would happen? All three would not meet at the center. They would meet towards the right of the center or towards the left of the center, somewhere here. But whenever you sum up the angles of a triangle, they will come together and meet at a point. And that point will always fall on a straight line. The angle on a straight line is 180 degrees. That's why it cannot be 250, 400 or anything else. Yes. Awesome. So the next time your relative asked you, why would somebody pay money for it? You better ask them why the angle sum property is 180 degrees. Right? Because this is what we do differently. This is what we do differently at Byju's. This is how the program, any program, how the Byju's Tuition Center, the teachers at the Byju's Tuition Center, the approach that Byju's uses, it's all very unique, all very different. I mean, I did not have multiple features that the program has in order to take this clear to you. आपको आसानी से समझाने के लिए 10 तरीके होंगे ऐप पे जो सेम विजुअल समझा पाएगा. The same visuals would be able to reach you. Right? Remember the car example. I just told you that not only I have an engine, but that engine is the most powerful engine in the world. Now you can talk about ground clearance, in-air projection will become your ground clearance, style will become maybe 3D animation. So all the other features will now sound appealing. Yes, getting it. Now, the best thing you want to know about me, I am a commerce student myself. So don't think I am a math genius. I learned this after I came here. In fact, I was a commerce student not because I loved commerce, because I wanted to get away from maths and science. Right. So being as genuine as that. So many people sitting there who are thinking, Arey yaar, how will I do math for this job now? Because I didn't do math for the rest of my life. It is not something that I learned before this. The best way to pick this up is, how I did this is I picked up a concept that, I was not good at, started watching it through the app, learned something, tried on 5 people. When all 5 could not get it right, I knew that they have also not learned it the right way. And that simply means, why education is little tricky, especially as a child, because the decision of where you will learn, kahan padhoge, is always decided by the parent. But the blame of results is always on the child. Yeah, that you are not able to do well. What the parent will never look at is that they might have invested in the wrong source and the source is not good enough for the child to do well. Yes. So, because I'll tell you, if the child was at fault, if a child is at fault, he will not be able to tell you, what is a plus b plus c equals to, because that is where, he should have known something that he has been told, but he's not able to tell you. But most kids will tell you the answer, a plus b plus c kya hota hai? What is a plus b? Sir, 180. Almost 8 on 10 kids will tell you. When you ask why or how, is where they struggle. That's exactly what conceptual learning is. It's all about how and why. You know why? I don't know if your trainers have told you, but when you will start learning about how to call, okay, you will be given a few insights that will help you build the conversation. I'll give you one insight, right? And it's a fact. People don't debate with facts, remember. So the fact is that about 1,50,000 kids score 95% or more in grade 12th. About 1,50,000 plus kids score more than 95% marks in grade 12th. But there are only 11,000 who make it to the IITs. So if marks is the parameter of assessing where you really stand, it might not work out in the long run. I'll tell you what is the difference between somebody who cracks or somebody who does not crack. Now, let's say I am a competitive level exam. Okay, let's say I am JE, right? And I'm creating papers. What is that I'm going to think? That, there are kids from all the boards. There is CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, IB, state boards. What all, every board will appear for this exam. People would have learned in different languages. People would have learned in different chronology order. People might have learned a different concept in a different grade. So the only thing that would be constant is the reasoning, because that cannot change. Why angle sum properties 180 cannot change from Hindi, English, Bhojpuri, Tamil, Telugu, whatever. It will remain unanimous. And that is why a competitive level exam always tries to choose to check reasoning. Now, till grade 12th, start and end is defined, right? It will come from here to here. If you are a great student, you might give another 2 or 3 textbooks between here to here to solve more complex problems, correct? Difficult ones. But start and end is defined. So it's easy to retain, easy to get scores and all of that. But if you have not learned in a reasoning based format, then competitive level exams and all of that is a real big problem. And that is not, jo log bolte hain, 11th, 12th mein you do foundation. And if you have not learned that way from 6th to 10th, and most of your basics like angles and property comes in grade 6th, right? You will have rational numbers in grade 7th. You will have everything done till grade 10th. Then you start your foundation in grade 11th, right? So you've followed a completely different approach of learning, and now somebody gives you a gyan that learn this way. It's obviously mostly not going to work. So at Byju's, you pick up any grade, any product, any place. You will always have 2 things being taught. behind any concept, which is how, which is why. Reason behind any concept. Pick up math, science, any video, anything, it will always have these two aspects. And that is why you're more powerful, more, impactful compared to any other player that would be there. Okay, so that's about, remember, this was the most important answer, you have to carry forward, that why would people pay money? Why would people buy? It's because you have something that everybody does not. It's because you teach them in an approach that gets things through. I'm sure if there are 119 people, I might not have reached even with this to maybe 50 out of you. And 50 out of you would be wondering, Ki kya bataya bhai? What is this guy saying? It does not matter. If I can explain this and get to 50 people when I'm sitting one-on-one with you, I will definitely get this through. Right? Which means if you are sitting one-on-one, which is you and the customer, it's very easy to explain something like this to him and they will understand the value, because this is not a luxury product. Education is a necessity, right? So it's not like if he does not invest in you, he will not invest anywhere else. Understanding that if he does not invest in you, he'll invest somewhere else. It's very simple. And anything else that he invests into, when you learn what you are as an organization, how much you charge, you will realize that within a year, he's paying the same amount, even if he's going to a very elementary tuition center, that asks him to pay 1,500 a month for teaching a subject. You will understand that he's spending the same amount, not getting what he expects, and is satisfied with that kind of experience. Yes. All right. So that's the Gyan bit. I hope. Don't worry. This is one. Your trainers will teach you many. Right? But this is something that you will only feel more confident when you ask people. Go back home today and whoever you think is the biggest math genius at your house, might as well ask them. You'll get more confident as to why, because they will give you every other reason. They will even yell at you when they get frustrated. But the reality will be in front of you as to, because it's not their problem. No? Somebody who taught them did not teach them that the real reason was this. Why I use this? Because over, my experience as a sales guy over 6-7 years says that most people, they goof up basic things. So I knew that, you will know 180, but largely the reason behind it would never mattered, right? And anyways, my point is not that, angles and property is such a difficult concept and you don't know the answer. My point was that, I asked you a concept from 6th and asked you the reason. And if it does not add up, then think about trigonometry, integration, differentiation. If I start asking how and why about that, then life will get very, very, very different. And that is where something like this will matter. Chaliye. Okay. BTC, let's understand what do you know, yaar. Okay. So let's break down. I think we still have good half an hour with us. So let's break the understanding down. What I will tell you is we will learn, write down. Abhi yahan se Gyan is done. You'll have to write down with it. Yeah. Because it does not matter how great you are at remembering. You will not remember is what I can guarantee. In a pressure situation, when somebody asks you and you don't have it written with you, you will always, if it's not something very common, there's something that has been told to you 10 times, you'll miss it. Yes, Byju's Tuition Center. I can see still a lot of people sitting with your cameras off. Guys, okay, chalo, मैं थोड़ा बहुत बताता हूँ because I will also be a integral part of helping you move to month 1. Before I start with the Byju's Tuition Center Gyan, I'm sure, a lot of you have attended the 2-day workshop, but you're here for the job, correct? And you want to clear and get selected for the job, correct? Right? That's the goal. That's one thing here. So let me tell you that We don't have a hard and fast mechanism that at the end of week 3 we will put you through one interview or a test, or we will make you sit with a person like me and he will judge you if you're a select or a reject. All of that is not going to happen. Every single day of the 21 days that you will spend in training, we observe right from your discipline to your behavior to your contribution to your participation, because this is not rocket science. You don't require exceptional skill in order to do this, right? Whatever you require, there are your trainers. Your trainers, when they were sales guys, they would have sold for 1 crore of individually generated revenue. That is their experience as salespeople. That is how they have gotten eligible for interviews and have come to you. If they would have done, let's say, 60-70 lakhs, their managers would have done 1 crore in their region. Trust me, when I was there, even I have done 60-70 lakhs of sales back in 2017 to just be eligible to become a manager. Which is what I'm trying to tell you here is, anybody that you will meet has done it successfully to tell you enough about the job. So learning the job is not going to be a problem. Where people go wrong is their intent from their end, right? And I can see a lot of people relaxing with your screens off. Yes, your trainer will form an impression basis your participation, basis your visibility. And the only way we figure out on a platform, let's say it's virtual, I am sitting somewhere, you're sitting somewhere, right? So the only way I figure out if you're here or not is by looking at your face. There is no other metric, right? Because if a person like me is allowed to just switch, get into a meeting and join and keep my video off, then I'll be available for all meetings every day, right? Regardless of how busy I am. And also for a lot of people who I can see have taken constant effort and have participated and are interacting with me, a round of applause, because you are already a step ahead. You're doing well. You're doing better. And I'm, for everybody who's not, it's just the beginning. You can change it all, but all of it is going to matter, right? So at the end of 3 weeks, it is going to be, an addition of, yes, a little bit of skill, how much you've learned, how you've behaved, how you've perceived, all of that, right? So make sure you're doing well on that aspect. Not only in this session, but for all the sessions. Okay, great. So we will learn about who all is there at the center. 3 parts में सीखेंगे. Who all is there at the center? So basically, the infrastructure pool at the center, the resource pool at the center. Okay. Who all is there? What all is there at the center? Today we will learn that. And we will then learn how do we teach at the center. 3 things. Yeah, and write it down, because you will not remember. Remember, I told you. If you still think you will remember, tell me the second thing or the second word I said when I started this session. After good afternoon, what is the second thing I said when I started this session? If you get it right, don't write. But the reality is, I myself don't remember what is the second word I said. So you can only take a blind guess or a bluff about what is it, The most difficult game to play is remembering things. Yeah, don't play that game, thinking that, because when we give that gyan and we have done the job, it'll all sound good. It'll sound like, wow, yeah, this is exactly why people would buy. But what matters is how much of it you retain and how you're able to explain it to others. Great. ठीक है, चलो, chat with me. Start. Okay. Number 1. Who all is there at the center here? Tell me. What all do you know? Who all is there at the center? Chalo, ABH. Done. ABH is there at the center. Who apart from ABH is there? 2. CSA. CSA. Write it down. Write it down. What else? Who else is there? BDE is there. Okay. Okay. BDE is there. Who else is there? Service counselor is there. Anybody else? Anybody else? Faculty is there. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody that you think that you're missing on? ABH done, service counselor done, BDE done, CSA done, faculty done. academic center head. I think somebody got it right. Let me. Ravi Kumar Sani. Good job. Academic center head. ACH. कौन होता है ACH यार? Who is this ACH? Any idea? Oldest faculty or the most experienced faculty is basically the ACH. Academic center head. You know, like I'll tell you, let's say there are 4-5 teachers. There is one teacher who's the most experienced, very famous. That person is the ACH. So ACH होता है, ABH होता है. Don't remember like this. Area business head, academic center head. There is one more person that you're missing. Very important. The person who runs your life. CSM, Center Sales Manager. CSM. ABH, Service Counselor, BD, CSA, Faculty, Academic Center Head, and CSM. Clear? Great. Great. I hope you've written it down. What is there at the center? What is there at the center? क्या क्या होता है यार सेंटर पे? इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्या होता है सेंटर पे? क्लासरूम्स. डन. Point 1 taken. Classrooms. What else? What else? Staff room. Classroom, staff room. What else? Counseling rooms. Why counseling rooms? Because parents visit the center, they see. So where do we explain all of these great things about Byju's? In the counseling room. The ABH has a cabin in every center and it's called the ABH cabin. Right? There is storeroom, pantry, and restroom. So what I'll do is, I'll just quickly share my screen. I would suggest you write it down because pictures wala logic does not work really well. If you ask me from my experience, I also click a lot of pictures, but I then don't realize what did I miss in between, which picture came first, because today you will click, go back home, click 5 more pictures of your personal life, add up, and next day. So you will never find the relevant picture when you need it. Write it down. This is